picking up dog biscuits off a factory floor for £2 an hour when I was 16, which was such a crummy job, it made me realise there's got to be a better way of earning cash. I went to the foreman of this factory and said, if you had a broom to borrow, if you had a broom that I could borrow, I could do a better job. And he just said, son, you are the broom. And that was the bit that was the moment I decided to be an entrepreneur. I figured there's got to be a better way to earn cash than being a broom in a dog biscuit factory for £2 an hour. The three biggest challenges we faced in the startup, one was raising funds, of course. Everyone said the idea wasn't going to work, and it was brutal, actually. It took 12 months of fundraising, and we heard the word no an awful lot. The second thing was trying to find a manufacturer to work with, because we realised we couldn't get into the business of building our own juice factories. We wanted to work with existing people, and again, they said to a man, it's not going to work, guys, we don't believe in it. And so that was a tough thing to get through. And then thirdly, actually developing the brand, that took us a material amount of time. We always say it took us 9 months and 3 seconds, because it was 9 months of frustration of not trying to work out what we're going to be called and what we're going to look like. And then there was that moment when it all came together. Well, I was 95% sure it was going to fail, because we hadn't done it before and we didn't really know what we were doing, and everyone did say it was not going to work, and everyone had very good reasons, very rational, logical reasons for why it wasn't going to work. And so I guess, we were driven through a sense of it's probably not going to work, but why not give it a pop? There was 5% of me, though, I've got to admit, that was thinking, well, some people manage it, some people beat the odds and go from nothing to something, and so maybe it'd be us. But we definitely thought it was not going to work rather than that it was going to work. But I was more scared about not trying than being scared of it failing. Our first stockist we got very easily, because he was our local sandwich shop, and we'd been telling him for months and months that we were going to do this thing, and on our first day of business he had to promise to take our smoothies, and he dutifully did. So day one, our first customer, no problem. Day two, we didn't get a single new stockist. Day three, and we had this problem that our smoothies, they only have an 8-day shelf life, and so if you don't sell them quickly, then they've suddenly got no value. That weekend we went out to all our local health food shops, all our local coffee bars, all our local sandwich shops, and said, look, we're your new local neighbourhood juice company, have these smoothies for free, put them on the shelves. If they sell after the weekend, give us a ring and order some more, and if they don't, then you and your staff can have them for free. And everyone just said yes to that. So suddenly over that first weekend, we had like 45 stockists in West London, and the majority of those after the weekend rang and ordered some, and that was, we were in business. I think normally on an average year you get 10% bad luck, and we, for the first 10 years of business, had 0% bad luck. Everything went our way, and then in 2008 it was like all those 10% all came in 1 year. It was just 100% bad luck. A big competitor launched against us and took a big chunk of our market share overnight. The market size itself collapsed with the credit crunch. The price of fruit went through the roof. It's a global high. The exchange rate collapsed, and we buy most of our fruits in euros and dollars. We lost millions of pounds. We were in breach of covenants on our loans to the bank. They had the right to walk in and take the keys off us. We had to make people redundant. Everything went south. And we managed to get through it. And it's a cliched thing to say, but we were a stronger business as a result of it. I wouldn't want to repeat that year. And it was a lot our fault, because we just didn't see the signs early enough and we didn't act quickly enough. But fundamentally, it made us a stronger business. We basically recognized that we had to solve this crazy equation, that in a recession, we had to keep the prices low so the consumer could keep buying. But how to make sense of that when the cost of goods is going up, and we need to keep supporting the brand, and we need to innovate to get cheaper prices, cheaper products out there. The solution was, we're going to have to invest a material amount of money. So we went out and sold some shares to Coca-Cola to get money to come into the business to be able to fund the strategy. We got a lot more negative publicity 2 years before that when we started selling our smoothies to McDonald's. That caused a lot more negative PR, which I always thought was slightly bonkers, because we're in the business of trying to get natural, healthy food to people, and the idea that you could have a smoothie as part of your Happy Meal, I thought that was a big win nutritionally, but not everyone saw it that way. But I guess if anything, we've tried to run the business on doing what we think is right rather than what we think sounds right. We're much more worried about the reality than the image of things. What was a really important part of the deal for us is we kept control. So we separated out owning shares in the business from having voting rights in the business. And Coca-Cola were incredibly supportive of that. They said, we totally get the fact that you're a different business with a different philosophy and we don't want to fiddle. So myself, Adam and John have continued to control the business, but we've got this extra resource to draw upon, which has allowed us to do the things we want to do. We love them. We've found the guys incredibly smart, really honest, really decent people. I've learned lots of things. I guess the biggest sort of intangible, what I think the most important thing we've learned is just that they're a business that in their heart is optimistic. They definitely come to any business situation and think, right, first question, how can we make the pie bigger for everyone? Whereas most people go into any situation think, right, how can I get the biggest slice of the pie? So they're very much about, let's make it good for everyone. And then, of course, let's talk about the slices of the pie. So I love that about them. And then there's the tangible things that they've helped us with. We can buy our plastic bottles cheaper now. We can buy our plastic caps cheaper. But fundamentally, we're a very different ecosystem. We make a short shelf life, fresh, chilled product. They make a long shelf life, ambient product in cans. So they just don't do the same type of things that we do. So we can learn from them in the sort of the intangible stuff, and they can help with a little bits and pieces on the physical side. But the main bit of the business, we're just different. It's one of the 5 things we look for in people, and entrepreneurialism is definitely one of them. We love the idea of people challenging the status quo about taking a bit of risk. Not recklessly, we say if you're 70% sure, then go for it. And that sort of spirit of empowering people to sort of make decisions, try new things, support the guys that have tried and failed rather than the people that never tried in the first place. I think these things have helped create a culture of can rather than can't. It just makes it a more exciting place to work. Naturalness is one of our, and it's my favourite word. It's all about being natural, acting natural, using natural ingredients, using natural materials. Being commercial, because we are a business and we do want to grow, we do want to profit. Being responsible, because we do have this ideal of leaving things better than we find them. And then being generous in time, with praise, with feedback, with reward, with making cups of tea for each other. As a kid, I used to organise jumble sales to save the whales and all the rest of it. I think it's a reflection in our respective upbringings that we've just had a sense of we want to be successful, but we want to be successful in a way that we can be proud of. And being proud of entails having a sense of what are the end consequences in the way that we do business. We love the idea of having a business that only makes healthy things, that sources sustainably, that donates money to charity. I love what it does spiritually. I also love what it does commercially. It gives us competitive advantage in the marketplace because we attract and retain brighter people for longer than your average business that doesn't have that sort of ethical underpinning. So for me, it's our secret weapon. I've loved the charitable side to the business as well. We give 10% of our profits to charity, and that over time has added up to material amounts of funding. And seeing of the 15 different charities that we support in the developing world, starting to see material benefits coming through there has been great. Plus, we've thrown some great parties, and there's the hedonist in me as well. I'm a combination of hedonist and altruist, and innocent has been, for me, the perfect balance of both.